You're looking for that dog, guys who just want to compete. You get enough of those guys, and then every day that is that competitive, environment, every that competitive culture, it just starts to breed and it just starts to cultivate itself. And I think that's kind of what he's looking at. That everybody in that locker room, he's recruited individually these guys with these really competitive spirits, and now you brought them all here together, and hopefully that just uplifts the program's competitive culture to a whole nother level.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen it basically in everything Sark has done. Is he wants guys to be that obsessed, is what he's been saying this year, with winning. And it's hard to be obsessed with winning if you don't compete as much as you want to. If you're just training all the time and just at the gym and you're doing all that, it becomes harder to keep that competitive edge and keep being obsessed and going forward. But if you play some other sports, if you go out and just play pickup basketball, or if you go out and you say play soccer or do whatever, even if it's just going around and playing 7-on-7 or putting together a little scrimmage, those types of things that you bring back that edge of I don't want to lose, just whatever it is to make sure that you're competing consistently makes that edge sharper and sharper as you find that how to dig down deeper, how to pull that out of yourself the moments when you need it the most. That's what Sark's trying to find in these guys, and he's done it pretty well so far.
Yeah. No, I think it's I think he almost believes like your competitive nature is it's a muscle. You gotta work it. Michael Jordan believed that.
Yeah.
Hopefully, guys aren't gambling to exercise that competitive spirit like MJ was. But I think it's you're talking about something very similar there, and I think that's what Sark is looking at and identifying. And I think he uses guys who play a lot of other sports, but he's talked about the classroom too. As a matter of fact, I'll give you this little comment from Sark, and then we'll go to break and come back and talk some more about these. But he even likes guys that compete in the classroom. He's talked about that too. Like he wants guys that even when they're in the classroom, that they apply that competitive spirit to their academics. How about this? In year one, Sark said when we arrived at the University of Texas, we had a 2.3 team GPA. Our first season, we went 5-7, and we had 0 players drafted. And he said year two, we went 8-5, 2.7 team GPA. 5 players drafted. Year 3, 12-2, 2.9 team GPA, 11 players drafted. He's talking about achievement at all levels. And this is the key to what because I've talked to a lot of the current players and the former players. And shout out to our Third and Longhorn podcast, my man Nick Shuley and Fozzie Whitaker and Jeremy Hills and Alex Okafor and Derek Johnson, because it's a really good group. But we get a chance to talk to these players. And when they talk about culture, they reference habits. Basically, that their culture is habitual. It's about the habits every day, not just what you do habitually when you're in the complex and in the weight room and on the practice fields and in the film room and in the position room, but also that same habitual excellence applied away from the football field, in the classroom, in the way that you cultivate relationships. Like they talk about this, it's deep when they get into culture. I think it's one days where is it Culture Tuesdays or Culture Wednesdays they have on the team.
Yeah.
You probably heard them reference this. And they talk about how deep they get on that day about culture being habitual and culture being something that can basically be defined by your character. And this is, so I think Sark and what he's done is obviously amazing what he's done. But like I said, it starts at the ground level, just kind of picking the right players and the right traits in players. And he's talked about also, and he said it there, looking for guys who've played at championship programs. And what that does, like let's take Wesley, for example, or Lake Travis. I don't want to disrespect anybody. I take these perennial championship programs. Yeah, if I name one, not the other, trust me, you get texts on that on the text line. But what they do is they breed out bad football character, or if you do a bad football character, they can help kind of turn or at least transform that character into good football character. Otherwise, you won't rise in the ranks in programs like that.
Yeah.
At a Westlake or Lake Travis, like you end up getting booted out, like because they have so much cultural excellence and they have kind of cultivated it generation after generation because it is the same culture they're trying to replicate year after year, which is a championship one. So when you get guys who are really good players from cultures like that, they already have kind of built-in football character because it's been refined and it's been cultivated and it's been groomed, if you will, within those championship caliber programs. And they come to you already made. They know what it takes. They know the work that needs to be put in. That's why they love Taft Daddy. He called Taft Daddy. I'll get the quote here. Steve Sarkisian called Michael Taft the professor. Now, he didn't say it like that. He said the professor. But I say that. I don't even know why I said it like that. I don't know why I said it like I was, Dr.
I like it better. I like it better.
It does sound better, I will admit. The professor. So it sounds better, but he called him the professor. He really likes Michael Taft, but I think the reason he likes him because Michael Taft has a tremendous football character. But I think being born at Westlake, you're not going to rise to leadership roles in those programs if you don't have that type of and don't display it daily.
Yeah.
Habitually. You know what I mean? So anyway, too deep, but there you go. Anyway, we'll get back to some of those comments. I want to talk about the transfer portal targets for Texas when we get into the behind the burn orange curtain. We'll also get back to some of these Sark comments. Sark is not concerned about the defensive backs. He's not. I told y'all this after the spring game. Sark either, I don't know, I'm going to have to try to psychoanalyze Sark on the side. Because after the spring game, remember, he wasn't concerned about the DBs. He brought up big humans and D tackles after the spring game. Even though the secondary got torched for like 700 some yards, he's like, we need big humans now. We need big D tackles. We're like, hold on, what? Did you not look at the secondary out there? You didn't? Okay, guess you don't care about it. And then even after losing Terrence Brooks and losing Austin Jordan, that makes 8 DBs you've lost in the last 2 transfer portal cycles. Sark, even with the touchdown club, not concerned with the defensive backs. He's unbothered. Even after watching last year them get torched in the Washington game, he is not